Hello and welcome to the Chris Pageantine Basketball Network. This video is a special video for coaches. We're going to use the FIBA.basketball website for coaches who are looking for opportunities, to find jobs, to find players, to find events for their teams, and all around information for coaches. Stay tuned for more. If you are not a coach, you're a player and you want to find information, I have already done those videos on both the FIBA website and Eurobasket.com. I'm going to leave a link somewhere on the screen for those videos. Please go check them out. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe and click that bell notification down below so you'll stay updated on all of my future videos. And don't forget to follow me on social media at CPB Network for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Okay, so we start on our homepage here at FIBA.basketball. Again, they've got a really cool domain. It's not just a regular .com, although you can type in .com and still get to there. This brings us to our homepage. We have a little information about qualifying tournaments, events, their social media, different world rankings for FIBA teams, a little more information down here, footer, tools and resources. All around great website to help you really navigate through international basketball as a coach, player, agent, doesn't matter, okay? But today we're focusing on coaches. So let's come over here and let's go inside FIBA, okay? And it gives us a tab that says I am a. We could choose player, agent, coach, official, all that. We're going to go for coach. Okay, so it brings us to the World Association of Basketball Coaches. All right, we have some information on this stuff. You can find a member. So if we go to this, we are going to have to type in a name. Type in a name to search. Okay, so that's maybe if you wanted to, if you already knew a coach, you wanted to reach out to them. Maybe they're a head coach of a team that you would like to work for. You can type in their name and find their information. See if they're also verified. That's not the best thing that we have for this tool. Let's go back to our basketball coaches platform, and this is a great tool for coaches. Here we have coaching education. Okay, so whether you're a starter, just beginning to coach youth basketball or higher, or you're a more advanced coach, this is some great stuff. Okay, so here we've got a lot of educational resources, clinics, courses, videos, ways you can learn about how to coach a team and the responsibilities you should take to start coaching. And then we have different levels here with curriculum. So this is a great tool if you want to check out and just learn a little bit more about coaching at different levels, especially in youth, mini basket. I mean, they've got great stuff here, know-how, development, management. We've got all types of resources, player, team stuff. You've got drills that you can work on, game coaching, all types of things for coaches to try to learn and improve. This is really about coaching improvement. This is coaching education at its finest. You have the exact same things here on the other various levels. You have level 2, and then again for level 3. Okay, let's go back. So we did the platform, we did find the members. Now let's go to what I think is probably the best thing about FIBA's website for coaches. This FIBA Europe Coaching Certificate. Okay, here this page is going to give you a little bit more information about the certification process. And it will tell you basically a timeline of what the curriculum will be and when and where they're going to be doing this stuff. So here it says in 2021 at the FIBA U20 Championships, we've got a 7-day clinic where you're doing the coaching clinic, you're also writing an exam, an oral exam, and a demonstration, okay? So it's basically just kind of like you have to do like a college thesis or something. This is the end. So it's a process, right? So it's normally a 3-year process. That's why they've got 2019 here, 20, and 21. Okay, and they do it in these 3-year increments because their curriculum follows through these events and you go to these specific events and you have hands-on things, they test you, but then after and in between these events, you also have work. You have to write papers, do all types of studying and learning for these tests and examinations. So it's a really, really thorough certificate. That's why I think this is so great, because it's so thorough and operated through FIBA. Every country in Europe accepts this certificate. This is a very prestigious coaching certificate. Normally in each country you have different types of coaching licenses, and they're different based upon different countries. Some countries have partnerships with their licensing. So if I had let's say a B or A license in Germany, that means A license means you can coach at the highest levels. Okay, and then it goes on down. B, you can coach in smaller levels. C, same thing. On down through, it's from professional on down through youth. Okay, so they might have a partnership with other countries where if you have this German certificate, it also counts for some of these other countries in their leagues. Okay, but this FIBA coaching certificate, it does not matter. It doesn't have to be just a one country certification. This encompasses all of the European countries. They will all recognize this certification, and it is the highest certification you can have as a coach, especially at the youth levels. And they also work with you to help you find jobs after this. But it shows you the process and the timeline and the previous events that they've had and how they've done it. It's always on a 3-year tier. Okay, so it's very in-depth, very involved, almost like you're getting a degree in this. That's why it's so prestigious. It tells you a little bit about how to register, and it tells you about the ranking of how to get into this. Okay, so participation is free. You just need to cover your travel and accommodations. Okay, but if you look at some information here, there's a cap. They'll get about 60 participants per program, and there's a lot of people that want to join this. Okay, so what they do is they have nominations from each federation, which is like your country's basketball federation. So they can nominate 3 coaches, and in rank of priority. Okay, so the highest, the coach, the first coach that the federation lists is the highest priority. They get an automatic bid. Okay, then the others come into play after there is some open spaces and remaining coaches on the waiting list can get in. Tells you a little bit more about the examination regulations, and then we have some more information here in the form of PDFs. And they give you the tools also for you to be able to study and learn. We've got some frequently asked questions here with some great information. Same thing about lectures and other videos explaining this program. So I think that's one of the best things on here for coaches if you're looking to get certified as a FIBA accredited coach. Now, I do not have this certification. I've been certified in the various countries that I've been for different licensing types. So this doesn't mean if you don't have this, you can't coach in Europe. But this is a highly touted program that will give you a leg up over another coach that doesn't have this certification. Okay, so we've done the platform. We've found other coaching members. We've looked at the FIBA coaching certification. Let's look at some other things that are away from the coaching tab that you can use to help you as a coach. Okay? Let's go here to I am an agent. We can go to find. This is exactly what we talked about in the player video too. So we'll go to find an agent. So here again, we're at this agent tab. We can look for specific agents of their nationality or where they reside in each country. And we bring up a list of names. And now if this is a country that either we live in or we want to work in, I would contact one of these agents. You can click on their information, find contact information, website, the different clients. Okay, this is also a great way for you to not only maybe get representation, but a way for you to find an agent maybe that you would like to work with to bring in some players. Okay, so if you're looking for players, this is a great tab to come to and find a little bit more information on the registered players. So this is a great tool for you to find different agents that maybe you would like to work with either signing players or even find some representation for yourself. Now I will say that most agents represent players. Not all agents will represent coaches, but there are definitely those type of agents, and you can maybe make a list of people you would like to work with based on their location or yours or your desired employment location. We'll go to organization, and now we see different regions. Okay, so if we wanted information, say we were in one of these regions, we didn't necessarily want to talk to, like if I'm looking at the African region, it might not make sense for me to contact and visit the headquarters in Switzerland. So here I can find out a little bit more information, contact information, website, all that stuff, frequent news, some quick links for what's going on in different regions. Okay? Again, you can find structure, competitions, everything, programs, documents. This is a great tab just for all around information. You can find different events. Let's go back to inside FIBA. We'll go to organization again. We can find different organizations that are attached with FIBA here. We can find the structure with different people who work, and especially in high positions with FIBA, in case you needed to get in touch with someone. We also have a basketball tab with rules of the game. So if you are a new coach and you're wanting to go overseas, wanting to go to a FIBA country as a coach, you would need to know these rule differences. From especially if you are an American coach wanting to go overseas, the rules are different, especially for timeouts, everything. So you definitely need to know those before going in to try to coach, because a lot of teams will, it's not saying you can't get your start. You definitely can. People will be interested in, especially if you come from a bigger basketball country like the USA. Okay, but in order for you to continue getting positions, you really have to know the rules. So teams might look at it and say, okay, even though he's an American coach, their system is different. He's been in a few FIBA countries, so he'll know the rules. We feel confident in bringing him in. Okay? We have information on national team stuff in case you have young players that could qualify for that. We have news about 3-on-3. That's a fairly new thing with FIBA getting very big, obviously. And we look at just different programs they have, foundational stuff. They have a house of basketball where you can book conferences. They have presentations there. Okay, again, under the other tab, we have documents, again, with rules, regulations, studies, and facts. These are good things. I would go and check out this, especially the rules, studies, and facts are important. It goes into depth about different countries, different national teams, the basketball and how the migration of basketball and the popularity explosion in different countries. That could be advantageous for you, because if you wanted to go to a certain country and you're looking at their FIBA ranking or a study that goes about their country, and it says, basketball is really not a big sport, popular sport, not a lot of funding for it, not a lot of kids, not a lot of participation, maybe it'll be very frustrating for you in that realm, and you might want to look at a different country that has maybe a bigger pathway, more kids, more interest, because there's probably more opportunities, higher paying opportunities in countries with more participation. If you go to FIBA basketball-career, you can find anything, that openings that they may have within FIBA. Now normally this is not, you see here digital projects coordinator. These are not coaching positions, okay, but there's other things to do within the FIBA organization. So let's take a look inside again, and let's look at, you can find venues that are FIBA approved venues in case you were looking to do a camp, an event, go to an event. Here's the Get Approved tab, which means that if you wanted to host an event for FIBA, you would need to get approved. They send some people over, they go through a committee review to see if your venue maybe at the current club you're working for, has the capacity to host an event. Okay, so that's some pretty cool information that can maybe draw in participation for your club, fan support, city community support. That's a pretty cool tab. Then here we have another big thing for coaches. We have basketball arbitration. Okay, this is big because if we come and look at this, let's see sanctions, let's look at and process. Okay, so if I go to the sanctions tab, I can see all of the clubs and teams in various countries under FIBA that have been sanctioned, meaning they're maybe banned from bringing in new players, or something has happened where they had to go through the arbitration process, which basically means that you're maybe a coach or a player or the club, they're brought to court. So I know FIBA does it where if one party doesn't show up to the arbitration, they automatically lose. Okay, so you gotta pay for your way to go to Switzerland and go through the entire process with them. They look at it, they judge it, and they can award maybe damages to you. But if we look at this, and I am anybody interested in going to a club, but we're talking about coaches. So if I look at this as a coach, and I see these different clubs in different countries, I would like to look through and see where there's a trend, right? Okay, look, I'm seeing a lot of Greek teams here. Okay, let's keep scrolling. A couple Italian teams. I mean, in Italy there's a lot of teams, so let's keep going. See if you Poland, Romanian, if you in Spain, Turkey. Lots of clubs here in Turkey. Okay, and normally this is a direct correlation to how these clubs and maybe these leagues and countries are going to operate. So here in Turkey, not to bash Turkish teams, there's some great, obviously, basketball in Turkey, great organizations, great teams, great coaches, great players, some good money in Turkey for basketball. But if you see, they've got a lot of sanctions here in place. Some teams with multiple bans from exceeding years. So this kind of tells me that maybe it's not so safe and maybe not a great idea for me to go to a country like Turkey, especially not these teams. If a team has bans in place, I wouldn't contact them. I wouldn't try to be a part of their organization at all, because they probably are doing things the wrong way, going to take advantage of you, going to do something illegal, okay? And you don't want to be involved in that, okay? We also look at clubs that are banned from international competitions for various reasons, and players that are banned for international transfers. So if I'm a coach looking to bring in a player, I want to come on here and I want to look and see, okay, is my guy's name on or woman's name on this list? If so, they can't be transferred. It'd be a waste of your time and your money to go through the process with them. Okay, so this is a pretty cool tool you can look at that'll kind of save you from maybe going to one of these clubs or picking one of these players and you having a bad experience, when you could come on here and see that that's not a good idea to even pursue them. Okay, here's our process for arbitration. Okay, this is some good information about basic rules, why you would go through this process, who you would go through it with, requesting it, contacting, statistics about it. So if you have a problem with your club or players or something's going on, you might want to go through this process. Okay, that's the great thing about FIBA is, when you have a lot of different countries participating in basketball, various different leagues, different laws in various countries, it can become like the Wild West, okay? And that's not what you want to get into. You want some security to know that things are going to go as planned and that you're not going to be either taken advantage of or, they're going to do something illegal. And so at least if something like that happens, you have the power to maybe recoup your funds or get the paycheck they're holding, or you can go through this process and at least there's some fair acts in place where it's not, again, like the Wild West. Okay, so now let's go and let's look at events. Okay, so we can find cool events that maybe we want to go watch. For the FIBA national tournaments, Olympics, all that kind of stuff. And we can also find events that we can register. So if we wanted to find a youth tournament, say I'm a U17 boys coach and I wanted to find a youth tournament to put them in, I can come here and find out and see international tournaments, maybe in a country close to where I'm living. Or even if I was an American team, we wanted to take our kids overseas to get that experience, you can find those types of events here, which is great. And again, we talked about ranking. Here is where we would find this stuff out. Okay, you got team rankings, individual. This is for 3-on-3, federation rankings. We've got world rankings here. This is based on national teams from youth up through men and women. Okay, so let's take a look at men's rankings. So now we can see either by regional rank or by world rank what is some of the best basketball countries if they're on the incline, decline. A lot of good facts and figures here. See who's climbing up. So basketball is growing. They're getting better in that country based upon how their national teams have done in world competition. And then we have teams that are falling below. Okay, so I would come on here and I would say, you know, if I was interested in going to, let's look all the way at the bottom. I was interested in a basketball job, but yet it's offered in, you know, here in Fiji. Well, man, that's almost at the bottom of the list. Maybe I don't want to go there because I don't think that it's going to be a great opportunity for me, even though it's a beautiful place, unless it was something like you were the national team coach or something like that. If you were just going to coach in a team or a league outside of the beautiful country, you might not have such a great time with their basketball. But here, if we look at some of the top 10 countries in the world, you might come here and have a pretty good experience or have more opportunities, higher paying jobs, more participation, so more kids, more players to choose from in these better basketball countries. Okay. All right, here if we go to activities and services, again we see the IMA tab. Okay, but we have other cool stuff for federations here. These can also be used for coaches. You have different things here, information for anti-doping and health care. Again, you know, equipment, venue, approvals, hosting events, all similar information that we looked at before. You know, going through these tabs, going through these different tabs is great. You'll see a lot of different things that maybe you would not even recognize that can be used for coaches trying to find opportunities, trying to get information, find players, find tournaments. A lot of cool things on this FIBA website. Okay, but let's go to leagues here. So now if I wanted to look at some of the major leagues around the world, I would come here and I could find out more information about them. Okay, so cool thing about this is that if we click on these tabs, we can find different teams, we can find how they've done this season, we can find contact information for these teams, so you can, you know, get in touch if you want to try to get a position with them. Maybe you also wanted, you know, to play a game, scrimmage, competition against some of these teams. You could find that information here. Okay, but the thing about this is it's not going to have all of the leagues. This might have the top professional league if it's a small country, or the top 2 if it's a big country. So if we look at USA, we've got NBA, G League. It says D League, but it's G League now. Okay. If we go to Germany, we've got, you know, their top league, the Bundesliga, and then Pro A. So that's their top 2 leagues. But in Germany, you have many different leagues, okay, from high-level professional on down through semi, you know, through a minor league, semi-pro, and then through just amateur basketball. So this doesn't have everything, but it's got a good, you get a good sense of the top professional leagues there. So if you're a coach that has a professional background, if you're looking for those high-level opportunities, you have maybe a license certificate, this would be a good place for you to go. Okay, but now let's look at a place where you can find all of the information for a country. If we go to federations, and we come down to this tab, we talked about this on our players video. I'm going to click on Czech Republic because I'm currently in the Czech Republic. And that's where I've been for the past couple years. So now here again we find the federation details, contact information, who their presidents, secretaries, stuff like that, website, contact info, address, all that stuff. Plus here, we have different types of events that they're in for men, women, youth, participation, how they've done. So it's a pretty cool little page you can find on just information about each country. And then we have their world rank here. So 9 for a small country like the Czech Republic, the world rank 9 kind of comes from how they did this past year with the World Cup, and that's great. That is a great ranking for this country. Okay, and basketball is building. So now, again, we want to look at this for how we're going to find opportunities as a coach. So if this was a country I was interested in, I would come here, I would go to their website, and then on each federation's website, you are going to find contact information. You are going to find league information. Okay, so again, we wanted to find competitions. I'll look at other competitions. I already know how to navigate this site. But if you didn't, try to translate it to whatever language you speak, and then go from there. So let's look at Top League, NBL. They link off to their website, so I could find team information here. I could find contact information by going to each team. And then we have information and contact. Boom, we've got their website here. We've got information about the coaches' contacts. We've got things from their managers, assistants. You can look at statistics. You can look at their games. And you can look at their roster here, players they have. So this is great information. The Czech Basketball Federation does a great job with their website, and so does the NBL here. Okay, so that's a way of finding some contact information if you want to approach a club to work for them. Let's go now to other men's competitions. So we have here the first league. Okay, so this is the league right below the NBL, technically the second division. Okay, so again, we can do the exact same thing. Here, like I talked about in the player video, this is where I played and coached this past season. I would come down here and I would, again, look at all this great contact information of coaches and managers. I would contact them if this was a place I was interested in. Or if this was a country or league I'm interested in, I'm getting all of the contact information for every team, and I'm going to contact them specifically and cater it towards each specific team. You don't want to send out just a blanketed thing that somebody's going to look over. But this is a great way for you to try to find an opportunity. Again, we got everything here. We got youth all the way up through, and this is some men's competitions here. You got we talked about Premier League. It was the first division, and then the second league here. So if you wanted to look there, and again on down through youth, so you can find clubs that are looking for coaches, and if you're looking for an opportunity, you may be able to work something out with one of these teams. So to recap this information, we looked at different types of coaching education, coaching certificates. We looked at rankings of different federations in different countries, how to find different leagues, how to contact teams, where to find those contacts, and all around information for coaches that are either just looking for opportunities, looking to find other games and events around the world, and just all around educate themselves. So again, this was a great tool that we used to find out all this information as a coach needing to either improve or needing to get another opportunity, or get your first opportunity in a new country, in a new region, or your first FIBA opportunity period. Okay, please stay tuned. I'm going to come out with a Eurobasket.com video for coaches. We already have that information out for players. If you're a player or you want to show that to your players, or if you just want to watch that, because information can be similar for a player finding an opportunity and a coach, go check those out. I'll leave links for those on the screen. But again, stay tuned. We've got more coaching videos coming out, player videos, agent videos, anything international basketball I'm going to cover. Okay, so please stay tuned, and thank you for watching. Please click that bell notification and subscribe down below. It helps my channel greatly, and I would really appreciate it and really love to have you as a member of my basketball network. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.